Spend my days with a woman unkind, smoke my stuff and drink all my wine. Made up my mind to make a new start, going to California with an aching in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair. Took my chances on a big jet plane, never let them tell you they're all the same. The sea was red and the sky was gray, wondered how tomorrow could ever follow today. The canyons and the mountains start to tremble and shake, children of the sun begin to wake. It seems that the wrath of the gods got a punch on the nose, and it's starting to flow. I think I might be sinking. Throw me a line if I reach it in time, meet you up there where the path runs straight and high. To find a queen without a king, they say she plays the guitar and cries and sings la 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 la. Ride a white mare at the footsteps of dawn, trying to find a woman who's never, never, never been born. Standing on my hill in the mountain of dreams, and telling myself it's not as hard as it seems.
Good evening, my beautiful kind family. And again, it's going to be another good evening on a Monday, Mod Monday. Our first one, actually, isn't it? And a Mod Monday, I think so. We used to run them on Sundays. This is really good for me because it gives me a chance to be with a couple of my mods throughout the night, and talk about certain things and get their ideas and all that kind of good stuff. And it's good to see so many chatters out there. You guys are awesome. And I want to say hi to my kind family. Randy Fairbrother, good to see you. Rach, my girl, good to see you. Doing such a good job on them thumbs. Moonflower Laza, good to see you, my girl. Ashley, good to see you, girl. And Doc Terry, good to see you. And Colder Covered, good to see you. Natural Healing, my girl, good to see you. Out and about, good to see you. Tina, good to see you. Nikki, good to see you. Bonnie, good to see you. Debbie Gazzardo, always good to see you, girl. Corey, good to see you. Deborah Lynn, my girl, good to see you. No, Pebbelz, good to see you, my girl. And Roll, good to see you. Tina, my girl, good to see you. I don't know who I'm doubling up on. There's quite a few in here chatting, so I doubt I'm going to make it all the way up there. Just hello to everybody. So we're going to be talking Kohlberger case, and we'll probably be going over the hearing a little bit more because I think there's some things in there that we need to talk about. Plus, there's some people that put out some pretty interesting videos today, and one of them is Ms. Kara Willis put out a really good video. It's kind of new, so I don't want to step on her toes much, but there are some things in there that we should look at. I think it's a pretty good video. Anyway, I want to introduce our first guest and one of my beautiful mods, Miss Pebbelz. Hey, girl, how you doing?
It's Tommy Jude. Oh my gosh.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good, love. How are you doing?
I'm all right. You ready for tonight?
How's the crime family behaving?
Yeah, it looks like they're behaving pretty good out there. Looks like they're chatting. Huh? Yeah, it's growing and growing here by the minute.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, right. Okay, and we got, of course, now I want to call him Bam Bam. And we got Pebbelz and Bam Bam tonight.
Oh, y'all in trouble now.
And here's Big Mikee to the stage. Hey, Mikee, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, brother. How's the family out there?
They're doing good. They're chatting away. They're crazy. And I think they like that Bam Bam. I got a good laugh out of Rach.
How does Mikey feel about it? Poor guy. Oh, my goodness.
I think that's good. That's really good. The Pebbelz and Bam Bam show. Oh, I'm telling you.
Don't make Mikey mad. He'll bam you out of here.
Right.
Got a low brain, Tommy.
Right? Yeah. Well, you're known for that. People don't mess around when you're around. You'll bam right out of the room. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. Actually, the hearing and stuff. There's still some stuff in that hearing I think we should discuss. You know, did you get a chance to look at that?
New stuff about that hearing every few minutes.
I know.
People didn't realize.
You got to watch it like 5 times at least just to get it all. You know, at least, right? Yeah. What do you think about that hearing, Mikee?
The hearing from the other day. Well, yeah. I think there was quite a bit to unpack there. I mean, there's a lot there. I mean, if you think about it.
I think there's a ton. What's that, Pebbs?
Oh, sorry. They've been telling on themselves quite a bit, actually.
They have been. And, you know, the way the PCA is written, it's almost to the benefit of Brian. Have you noticed that?
I don't think they realized that until now.
You're right. Payne isn't, I don't think under that bald head he's too sharp.
They try to be.
I didn't realize, right. I didn't realize how short that guy is. Have you noticed how short? He's got to be like 4 feet tall.
I got a beat then. Finally, I'm taller than somebody.
You're taller than him, trust me. I mean, he is really, really short. I seen a picture of him and 4 other officers, and I swear he's like half their size.
Actually, now that you say that, you're right. I did notice that.
Yeah, he must be like 4 feet. It's ridiculous.
And Kohlberger is pretty tall from what I hear, so that should make for an interesting matchup, huh?
Right. So, yeah, I think he's 6'3" or something. Yeah.
He's always
in that.
Did Thompson even open his mouth in that hearing?
Nope.
He was writing a letter to God, I think.
Yeah, he was writing a letter to mommy.
Camp's not going well.
Yeah. And I don't think it went well for them at all. And I heard a couple of creators say that it went really well for the prosecution. I'm going, what hearing did you freaking watch?
That's what I said. I was like,
right.
Did you watch the hearing?
Yeah. And that's a good point, what Ro was saying right there, or right there. He was blaming everyone else, and it's this blame game, and that's done on purpose. I do believe. I think it's the FBI. It's a prosecution. No, it's the police department. They're doing that shit on purpose.
Yeah, that's purposefully done, in my opinion, as well. Ro knows their stuff for real.
Yeah, confuse the issue. Confuse the issues.
Right.
That's my take on that. But we can listen to some of this here and just kind of break it down a little bit, maybe. We're gonna use Jules. I think I put her in the yeah, I did.
Yeah, at least that way you won't get a strike, and she's got
and she's got a good channel over there, and I like her document reading usually.
She makes me laugh. Wow.
All right. Okay, so let's bring this up. It's acting a little bit slow. I don't know where I'm at, but we'll just start listening.
Okay.
We can't give over what we don't have. And we do not have the majority of these subpoenas. What we do have, we've turned over. I reached out to the U.S. Attorney's Office. They advised they're not going to provide.
What? Why?
Because they don't provide subpoenas. Just like most grand jury material, it's sealed. And,
not typically.
Not provided.
Here's a question: Can the judge not see what's going on? I mean, is he really this stupid, or
I don't think he's that simple. I think he's just that biased.
I think he's got bias too. He don't want anybody to know that, of course, but you know what I mean. He kind of lays back and doesn't say much. You know what I mean.
And then when he does say something, it's pretty telling. Like when he responds to Elizabeth's part about, well, Judge, you can really help reduce this by setting some deadlines, putting some sanctions. He responds by saying, I think you're kind of giving me more power than I deserve. It's like, no, that's your power. That's what you're supposed to judge.
That's his job. That's his job.
Or else what are you there for?
Do these people really think that the public is this stupid? Or, well, you know what? Some of the public is.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly right. That's what they think.
They buy
it. Do you believe that the FBI has even helped them at all?
They have, but I think they. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mikee. You're good.
Yeah, I think they've helped them quite a bit, but the problem is that FBI doesn't want their surveillance systems and all this technology that they use. They don't want that out there. That's what I think, and I don't know. I think the FBI's kind of backed away from this case, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're kind of sticking at the idle.
Much information, or have given them as much information as the state claims they have. Because like you said, I think they've backed away. They don't want any part of that. I don't know that entire cast data actually exists, to be honest.
Yeah, because all Payne said he got was a draft, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And my question is, how did you get the second warrant for the cell phone data? because the first warrant didn't put him on location. So how did you get more evidence to get the second one?
Right.
It's not weird.
I'm surprised Anne hasn't asked that.
Well, she did actually in this hearing. You can hear her at some point ask that question, I believe.
Yes,
But
she
yeah,
did.
Yeah. All right. I just don't get how they think they're going to get away with this. I mean, to try to confuse the public like that. I mean, there's dumb people that will fall for it, but in the end, it's going to be. I think the FBI. I think what happened, in my opinion, is that the FBI started digging. They might have gave him the tip, that it's Kohlberger or whatever, I don't think they said it was Kohlberger. I think they said, look into this guy too. You know what I mean? And they ran with it, and I don't think they had any of the. I don't think they have any evidence against them. I don't think the FBI has anything against them either.
I think they have the IGG, but I don't think that they have the cast, or at least provided the cast like they claim.
Right. And that IGG, I don't know about that too, because now we're finding out that they can manipulate.
That's what I've been saying. I mean, it's like they reverse engineered that, and it's easy to do. It's not hard.
Right. But they got the dad's DNA, right? They go get the dad's DNA. So they got the dad's DNA. They can manipulate that DNA to make it look like his.
Absolutely. Because the Y DNA from a father to a son is an exact duplicate. And so they can take whatever they need from that. It's a statistical match.
And that might be why it turned out to be touch DNA and such a little amount.
Right. And I'm hoping that's going to be some of the suppression hearings that are coming up soon, because I don't believe they had enough of that sample in order for the defense to conduct their own experiment, their own testing, which is required, or at least not refute what the state is bringing to the table. And I don't think that Anne would be okay with that at all.
Here's a big question for you guys for the beginning of a show here. This is kind of quick into it, but do you think there's going to be a trial?
I'm convinced there is.
Oh boy. I've gone both ways on this.
Yeah, because
I think there is, but the thing is everything they had on the PCA Moscow.
Hold on, Mikey.
Cutting up really bad, Mike.
Yeah, your mic is. You might need to get closer to your mic, maybe, or something. Or I don't know what's going on there. Do you got anything else in the back? Go ahead and try. Hello, Mike. No, you're kind of go out and come back in. Yeah, there he goes. All right. To go to trial. You know what makes me think that they might not is because Anne has turned this into a preliminary hearing.
I love it. I thought that was funny because that's exactly what's happening.
That's exactly what it is. It's turned into a preliminary hearing, and I mean, if she's going to show that that they shouldn't even have got the warrant to begin with, that's going to be a big problem. But you know what? The big problem is going to be Judge.
He's a big problem, in my opinion.
He's a big problem.
The fact that they put in a request to limit testimony and they made the comment that the PCA is irrelevant at this point, I think really opened up the door in order for Anne to turn this into a preliminary.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
So quiet.
Oh, yeah, that's better. Yep, that's better, Mikey.
Yeah,
what was your idea?
They hung their hat the whole time on the PCA, and now all of a sudden they're saying, "Well, it's irrelevant." Well, what have you got if it's irrelevant, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think Anne is introducing all of this, because this is a lot of testimony to have prior to an actual trial. Like a preliminary, like you said. I think they really opened up the door. That's why Thompson has been so quiet.
Did he even say one word the other day?
No.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
And then they didn't even.
I'm telling you.
What's that, Pebbs?
He's scared she's going to pull out another PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
Never seen a PowerPoint in my life.
Right. Yeah, that's that whole hearing was.
Make me get the PowerPoint out.
Right. Just sit there and shut up, Bill.
Kind of like me getting out the Billy Club.
Right. Doing the Bam Bam.
Oh, y'all are terrible.
Yeah, the Pebbelz and Bam Bam show. I love it. Well, what else was I going to say about that? Oh, shit. No, it slipped my mind. Let's listen to some more of this.
Even with a TUI letter, that wouldn't give it. We provide. They wouldn't follow that.
We have not. I'm not sure. But beyond that, though, even if they were to provide it, I still don't understand how this moves the needle one way or the other. You can tell I've detailed there's 71 federal grand jury subpoenas. And in my response, I've detailed exactly what they were for and what records were received so that you can get the scope of what was requested from the actual records. The piece of paper that was given over saying, give us these records is all they're asking for, but they have the records. They have the important part of this.
So they have the timing based on the subpoenas.
Off of
that
the
you
records
provided to the defense.
Off of the records provided. You can tell the scope as well as what they're for. And I've detailed exactly what they were for, the scope, in my response.
Any response?
Judge, I wouldn't be wasting the court's time asking for this.
This
if the
is
questions
good.
were answered based on the state's response to our request for discovery. Timing is critical on when a subpoena is served, what was the scope, then we can look at the documents to see if they are actually responsive to the scope. And knowing the timing of when that was served versus when it's produced to us is different. And again, I mentioned some of these things are pre-arrest of Mr. Koberger, and some of it is in the middle, and some of it is, frankly, months after the fact, if not a year after the fact, where they're looking for things related to the victims.
And can I ask a question? Because Ms. Jennings just said that that the dates, well, all the subpoenas that were provided to you, 71 subpoenas, and each one of those had the scope of what the request was in the subpoena, and that it would be dated.
No? That's not true.
That's not
true. No. There are all kinds of different records and different methods that the people that were the businesses and the people that were asked to produce the records produce them in different form. I do not know when they received the subpoena, the timing of it, and I do not know for all of these what was the scope of what was asked for versus what was produced. I do know what's produced, but I don't know the timing. And the answer of the date discovery provided, which is in Exhibit 1, that the date that a discovery is provided to us doesn't answer the first two questions that I have, which is the timing of when they asked for it and the scope that was stated in the subpoena of what they asked for. Some companies were asked probably for a certain number of months, and they didn't have records that were responsive to those number of months, right? Because when the state's doing this investigation, they're not necessarily knowing exactly what records exist. So being able to be specific is important. And I want to touch on this issue of it. It's not in their possession. I get that. But you have complete control over what evidence is going to be coming into this case with your orders. You may
right there. Right there. I mean, I think everybody realizes that, don't they? I mean, why would he say such a stupid thing?
I have no idea. That's a great question, because it is exactly that. It's stupid to even say something like that when you're a judge. Like, what?
Yeah, he's got all the power. I mean, he is the man. And as a judge, yeah, and as a judge, he is what's in between, you know, the prosecution and the defense. He's there to actually, the way it's set up, he's there to protect the defense in a way from prosecution. That's what judges are there for.
Both sides, you know, he's supposed to be kind of the moderator. He protects
exactly
the Constitution, upholds the law. That's the whole point of him being there, and he knows that.
Right. Yep.
I mean, if he doesn't know that, we are in bigger trouble than we thought.
Yeah, you know, and here, just like, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something, I was saying, you know, I think he's doing a good job and all that. Now, after this hearing, it's like, this guy looks like an idiot.
I agree.
And he does. He looks like an idiot in this hearing.
He just needs to grow a set of balls.
Or it's not coming in.
Exactly. He needs to grow a set of balls. Exactly. Yep.
Like he said it. Yeah.
And then we can just get going from there. You know, something that's destroyed, he can't produce that. There's going to be a spoliation instruction. Something that we keep repeatedly asking for and it gets past time, we're going to knock the death penalty off the table. You know, you have control to get these issues that we're struggling with fixed by saying, this is my order, produce it, or there's going to be a sanction.
You may be overestimating my power.
I think you're.
Oh my! I just can't believe he said that.
He wanted all the power when it came to reviewing what the defense could see as far as IGG came. He knew his role then. So how come all of a sudden he's backpedaling now?
Right. Probably because they're gonna, if she's turning this into a preliminary hearing, the prosecution's gonna lose this big time. And I don't care what judge it is, they have to sit there and think about this and go, there is no evidence against this guy. Either you produce evidence,
right?
Huh?
Yeah, if you can't produce the evidence, what are you going to produce to put him in prison or take his life, for that matter?
Yeah, to go to trial. What are you going to produce to go to trial?
I honestly don't know how they've gotten this far, considering Anne did try to fight that grand jury, not just with her argument about the probable cause or the doubt, but also with the prosecutorial misconduct, the lack of evidence, sufficient evidence. How was that just overlooked?
Right. Exactly.
Underestimating your power.
Well, I have a good sense of where my power starts and ends.
No, Judge, you do not. if you just said that statement, no, you do not.
And then his little skirt too. Oh,
I don't know. I mean, there's so much discovery that has been shared. Are all of these 71 subpoenas, have they been provided to me at this point? Because I don't think I've seen
how
them.
does he not know that?
To a federal grand jury. So this is, we haven't seen anything in terms of.
No, I'm confused with that. Are you confused with that statement?
I was at first, but I think I'm understanding it better now.
What is your take on it?
Run that back. Run that back so we can.
All right.
That the date that a discovery is provided to us doesn't answer the first two questions that I have, which is the timing of when they asked for it and the scope that was stated in the subpoena of what they asked for. Some companies were asked probably for a certain number of months, and they didn't have records that were responsive to those number of months, right? Because when the state's doing this investigation, they're not necessarily knowing exactly what.
Did I go too far back?
So being able to be specific is important. And I want to touch on this issue of it. It's not in their possession. I get that. But
I don't think I went back far enough, did I? Go back here.
and interlay the subpoena information that the state is getting. And we are desperate to find out the timeline in this case and when the state knew what and when. There's no question that motions to suppress are coming. Motions to suppress are coming on warrants. And whether or not those motions to suppress are based on Frank's material, because Mr.
Did I go back far enough, or what's going on here? Why wasn't that coming up?
I'm not sure what you done.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you did. I think you're in the area now.
Yeah, sometimes it jumps on me. Oh, now it's acting. It's doing its StreamYard stupid crap here.
Yeah, so is your audio now.
Is that?
You're glitching.
Okay, well, am I?
It's echoing.
Took us all the way back to the beginning.
We lose you, Tommy?
Oh, we are on our own now, Mikey.
That's right. Tommy
Oh,
ducked on us. Is Mama D in the house?
I don't know. I can't even see chat. Mine just keeps freezing. It's flying by. So you'll have to relay to me what's going on. Hey, Mikey, don't let me forget to point out the alternative suspect that they brought up.
Oh, okay.
I think Rach had said that in the chat. I know she had pointed it out last week.
Right.
I wonder if I should message.
Can y'all hear Chad or?
Are you getting any kind of response?
Can Chad hear us?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm back.
Here we go. There's Tommy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Okay.
I don't know how we lose our host.
It does happen, but you just jump back in as well. Let me see here. Okay, where did you go?
Mikey and I weren't sure if anybody could even hear us.
Right. Yeah, we won't know until the end. Unless they're out in chat, what they're saying out in chat.
Well, apparently they could. Rach messaged me and said they could hear us. We were being behaved, so we weren't doing anything bad, I don't think.
Okay.
Not
Now
yet.
I gotta
Not yet.
I gotta reshare this. There we go. I don't know where I'm at here, but
related to the victims to try to piece together, is that something that the state is still seeking because they're pursuing the alternate suspects that exist in this case? There's so many things that we're trying to understand.
Oh,
so
I'm glad. This is exactly what I wanted you to bring up.
Is we're in order.
What's that, girl?
This is exactly a piece that I wanted you to bring up, though. Rach had pointed it out last week, I think, about the alternate suspects.
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, all right.
So
The three male DNA.
That could be what they're talking about. Yeah.
Talking about also some, I believe it's cell phone data from the victims, right, Rach?
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to wonder if it maybe it doesn't have nothing to do with the DNAs. That maybe it's something other people they looked at.
Sounds like it might be a little bit more than just the DNAs, but that's also another good example.
Right. Let's listen to what they say again here. I don't know.
Them to produce this.
It's coming up, right? Or did I pass it?
I think you have to rewind maybe a little bit, but you're
little
right
bit.
on target.
Okay.
Shirley, and there is another agent, Mary Tyndall. These are the three agents that are receiving the subpoenas, reaching out to the providers that they're serving and asking for the documents. For the court to understand why we need these documents, I want to tell you what we're doing with discovery and timelines. There are more than 100 search warrants in this case. There are more than 50 grand jury subpoenas in this case. You've heard all kinds of information about the probable cause affidavit and the timing of that. Timing in this case for the defense is everything. So we are creating timelines that put in the dates of affidavits of warrants, the information that's received, and the date that it's produced. With subpoenas, when we don't get a copy of the subpoena and all we get is the warrant or is the subpoena return, we don't know the scope of what the state has asked for. We don't know the date that the subpoena was served. And in some of them, we don't know that there is a certified return. So we can't take our timeline on warrants and our timeline on the probable cause affidavit and our timeline on everything else that we're putting in there and interlay the subpoena information that the state is getting. And we are desperate to find out the timeline in this case and when the state knew what and when. There's no question that motions to suppress are coming. Motions to suppress are coming on warrants. And whether or not those motions to suppress are based on Frank's material because misrepresentations are made depends on the timeline.
Indictment is still valid, then they can't even bother with that. I just don't think it's valid because of the type of crime it is. At this point, like
creating an exhibit like this and then saying, well, we don't have to mapped 6% of the data that came in. Mallory's testimony and what I've seen through here, he was up to about 18%. So by either standard, more than 80% on both accounts were never mapped or accounted for. And I'm not talking overall from every single day for 6 months. I'm talking about the time frames that are chosen. So for example, this time period that's represented here is where I'm getting the 18%.
And that's the 48 hours?
This is specifically from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. on the morning of the 13th, arguably the most critical time period of this entire investigation.
I kind of wanted to hear Sai a little bit at the end here.
Connections. When I say a handful, they mapped 18%. When you add the other 82%, it tells a much more detailed story. When we put the drive test data on top of that, you can get even more refined. But to answer your question on any case, that's this case, on any case, and we teach best practices. We've established best practices going back to 2008 in law enforcement, what you do with this type of data. It is a terrible practice to justify probable cause for this very detailed call detail records that give breadcrumb-like trails for individuals and then not map it. We justify an entire probable cause statement saying we have to have this. Not mapping it and then making decisions and work products with leaving that out is extremely problematic.
Last week, we received some additional records that Detective Mowry found when he was preparing for his testimony on this mission. Have you had a chance to review those records?
I have. A couple of them are very technical, so I'm not going to say that I've mastered them yet, but I have a good idea of what was provided and what it means.
Based on your, I guess, not as thorough as you'll do review of these records, do you have a sense as to whether these records matter to us and what we're doing to defend Mr. Koberger?
Given the timing of these records, from what I can tell in the emails that were produced by Detective Mowry, these records were generated on the 23rd of December. It's when everything starts with probable cause statements. If I had to pick a time when the wheels fell off the wagon, that's the date. There are statements and there's assumptions made in the records that will never be supported by the data. There's a lot of claims that are
never be supported by the data. That's a big statement. That's a huge statement. Will never be supported by the data.
Well, and he also says there's really only have 18%.
Yeah, what kind of a joke is that?
Yeah, and they're going on 18% to come up with the scope. Yeah, okay. And he said only 6% is basically valid, is basically, any good that he can get anything out of it. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah, that ain't nothing.
The court accepts kind of shoddy work like that.
It's
It's ridiculous is what it is. I mean,
the name files of
the
records are problematic, but it does not represent what it's claimed to represent.
Sounds like those might be pretty important to us defending Mr. Koberger.
I could give examples, but I know it's a very technical thing, so I'm not. It could be extremely impactful to either side. I'm not saying just in defending Mr. Koberger. It could be extremely impactful in prosecuting Mr. Koberger. The problem's the problem, not what the data helps or hurts.
The content of the data, though, is it helpful to us in representing Mr. Koberger?
It absolutely is helpful. Everything that I've seen to date is concerning to me because it's exculpatory, and I want to.
Exculpatory.
Right. Everything I've seen to date is exculpatory. So either they're saying they handed over all the information, correct?
Yeah. Even that they don't have it and then find it later, like they've been doing lately.
Yeah. What do they plan on, like, popping this out on them months down the road, or you know what I mean?
Eventually it's going to happen.
They can't get away with that.
But it's like it allows them to buy some time to maybe manufacture some evidence, maybe find something that they can use. I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty much illegal to do what they're trying to do, is what it comes down to.
It is. It's illegal.
I don't know how it's still ongoing.
Well, and this is what the defense was saying, that basically, Judge, you got to put a stop to it at some point. You can't just keep manufacturing evidence for on and on, but while this case is going on, basically.
Exactly.
Right.
Nicely put. I mean, that was the whole point of her saying, "Hey, when are sanctions going to come into place?"
Right. And that should have been done. What was the first? Wasn't the first? The first date, wasn't it like last November? They were supposed to have some stuff out.
They were supposed to go to
then-
trial last October, and then Koberger waived his right to a preliminary, and it's
Right.
all been pushed back since then.
Right. And then they had till November to give him some information, and then it went to March. And that, I mean, how much more is it going to take before the judge says, okay, enough is enough. Get this information to them now. You got 3 days to do it, or you can't use it in trial.
They're up to September now.
Hey.
They're up to September now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just keep pushing that back, and it's like he's already given them how many chances to get this, and the FBI is not going to give it to him.
Right.
The FBI is not going to help him.
No, they're not. So I don't think they are either.
Behind that TUI letter, and they've had to now subpoena the FBI. I just don't see them actually having the cast. That's why I think all of this is coming up, to be quite honest.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't even have the cast to find the damn white car. I mean, let's face it.
Right. They don't.
They're not having the video either that they claim to have had, because that's exposed during this hearing as well.
Right. All right. Let's keep going and see if we can't find that. That's got to be coming up pretty soon.
I need to clarify this. When all of the records are produced and the dust settles and I have time to review it, I reserve the right to say, no, now I'm seeing everything. Here's what I'm seeing. Because of the piecemealing of the data, because of the missing data, because of data that I'm reviewing that is incredibly inaccurate, everything that is missing is absolutely in the benefit of the defense right now. There's other reports that I believe are missing that I can't tell you are in the benefit of Mr. Koberger or in the benefit of the state. If I was contacted on December 1st by Moscow Police Department, there are things I would have absolutely said, you get this today. Do not hesitate, and especially come December 23rd. Not because of who it's helpful for, but because those documents are the only things we're going to get that's going to be able to allow us to interpret what it really means. When we don't get those documents and we piecemeal things, it creates this narrative that is very harmful for the defense's case. As I've got more documents, I'm finding it's not harmful for the defense's case. There's a lot of misstatements that have been made. So yes, to your question, to date, it is very helpful for Mr. Koberger. I reserve the right to change that opinion in 6 months, depending on what type of documents are released and what's out there.
Fair enough. I need just a minute, but I don't think I have any other questions.
Thank you.
Mr. Ray, thank you. I don't have.
I like what he said there, because it kind of puts, and I think maybe that's why they didn't cross-examine, because I mean he pretty much put it on their lap. Without this information, he can't even help the prosecution.
Right.
He can't help.
They didn't cross the IGG witnesses, and they didn't cross Psy. Like, they want to do it all in the background. We can't see that. To me, that's the way
what the hell is going on?
I think it's pretty plain what's going on. They're trying to cover their butts. They don't really have what they claim to have. They put out there they had DNA and everybody focused on that.
There's a man in jail over this. They need to say,
well, he's got to be involved somehow. That's what I hear from everybody almost. That DNA.
What's that? Say that again, Pebbs.
Oh, everybody, they put out there that they've got this DNA link, and people hear that and they automatically assume he had something to do with it. You know, the DNA is the holy grail, everybody thinks, but they don't realize how far that has actually come, meaning how easy it is to falsify that or get it wrong.
Right, to manipulate it.
Very much so.
Right. And but who?
Especially when you don't show your
manipulating. Work. That's
especially
the question.
When you don't show your work.
Right. And doesn't that fall back onto Payne? Who does it fall back on?
Well, that technically the IGG is, they claim, is coming from FBI. So that's the fight there. And they're trying to hide behind this TUI letter. They don't want that discoverable.
You don't think that Payne was stupid enough, being the lead investigator, to go through with this PCA and everything if he only had a draft of the cast?
That's kind of what it looks like. Because think about it, he had to go and get the second warrant. You know what I'm saying? They had the first warrant, right, and he had to get the second warrant. Well, that was all tied to the cask, and I mean the scope or whatever you call it. I keep anyway.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what I mean? To even get anything, they had to go back twice to even get anything, and that's not much.
Right. We're seeing that now. Like the first one, he is 100. Well, that it says 100,000%.
Well, I just can't believe that people. You know, I just can't believe they'd be that stupid. Is it that they're that stupid, or is it that they're trying to cover up something?
They're trying to cover up something. They're slick. They're trying to be slick, and I don't think they thought many people would ask those questions. They could just hide behind, well, FBI did this. Nope, Payne did that. Wait, Mowry did that, and just point fingers at each other.
That's what's going on, and that might fool some of the people. Apparently, it's either fooling the judge or the judge is in on it. I mean, he's got to make a ruling on this pretty damn soon, or he's gonna look so foolish that, and he's already looking foolish. He's already looking totally foolish.
Too late. He looks biased and bored right now, as all hell. I think he's kind of in on it. In my opinion, that's the way it sure appears.
That's what it appears like to me. Yes.
What do you think?
Let me
move forward.
I think Elmer Fudd even has an excuse there. He doesn't really know any better. These people, I think they know better, and they're just trying to be slick.
No, but let me step back in time a little bit. You know, when the case first started and Fry was given his pressers, you think about this. Think about all the times we talked about Linda Lane, the Banfield, and all this other stuff.
Right.
Payne said back then, I went back and looked, Payne said back then, he was talking about how back then that they weren't just investigating the house. They were looking at several other areas around there for evidence.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, but think about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I do know that they went and looked at, but they looked at the wrong corner of 500 Queen Road there. They looked at the wrong corner of the house, but they did go take, they did a, what do you call?
Are you talking about the luminol?
Luminol, yeah, luminol test over
correctly, though. But we see how
it wasn't done correctly, and it wasn't even done at the right spot. It wasn't done at the right spot.
I guess my whole argument there was, even at the what they claim is the crime scene, we see what kind of a shitty job they did of processing that scene alone. So
right.
say that they're looking at other areas and were able to watch them mess up what they claim is the crime scene and contaminate the hell out of it, I can't really
and then
go by
tear it down. And then tear it down. It's, to me, I don't know, man.
They only end up with 113 pieces of physical evidence out of processing that scene. Excuse me? What?
That's crazy. That's absolutely bananas.
That's ridiculous. I don't know.
It is.
That's probably one of the least amounts of evidence collected at the crime scene, especially something like they claim this to be.
They get more out of a break-in.
Right?
You know?
I mean, the total lack of evidence that should be there is a bigger issue, in my opinion, than what they claim to actually
that's
have.
a bigger concern because to me it shows that if they only got 113 pieces of it, to me, either it didn't happen there or it was like totally cleaned by somebody. Or a little of both.
Probably both.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Hey, Tommy, is Mama D in chat?
She was. Mama D, you still out there? We love her, Mama D. We love her, Mama D. You still out there, Mama D?
Love me some Mama D.
Yeah, I love Mama D too. I watched her live last night too.
Right. I did too. I told her to come over and chat with us tonight if she wanted to.
There she is. Yep, she's here. Yep. Hey, Mama D. We got Mama D is in the house.
Tell her to jump up here with us, Tommy.
Yeah, if she wants to. That's up to her. You want to jump up, Mama D? You want to jump up?
Dancing. Mama D.
Mama D. Mama D.
So she's like, I'm never going back there again.
Right.
She's got to come up here. She better have my rubber ducky.
I don't know what you mean by that, but okay.
You don't? I thought you would, girl.
Oh, that's too funny. Okay, I gotta change. I'm gonna put a link out there just in case, but I gotta switch accounts on one page here. Because I don't think I can. Somebody did that, and I don't know. I can't. I'm gonna try this. Tell me if this link. Tell me if this link is out there, people.
Oh, I can't even see that. So.
Is that link out there? Does that look like a link to you? I don't know if that looks like a link or not.
I'm going to try to connect here. If I go mute for just a moment, I'm still here. I'm going to try to connect with you so I can see chat.
Yeah, you can jump back in. Yeah, you can jump back in. I got to get to my channel and click on that. Yeah, they kind of make me do a bunch of running around just to
drop a link.
Yeah, just to drop a link, right? Oh, so, Chief said yes, Tommy. So, the link. Oh, it does come up as a link. Okay. Yeah, that's so good to know. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. Oh, I don't have to go through all that garbage they made me used to go through. Okay, that's good. They must have fixed something there. Oh yeah, I like that.
Come on up, Mama D.
Yeah, come on up, Mama D. Come on down. Did she answer us? I said, "Oh, I didn't even." It's hard so hard for me to keep up with chat.
I'm just glad I can see everybody's chat now. Hey, everybody.
She's talking about your rubber ducky.
Tell me, you really don't understand that comment about the rubber ducky?
No, not really. No. Why?
That goes back to when she first started.
Oh yeah, that's her name on the rubber ducky. That's her name on when she was doing that other case.
Right.
When she first
Her
referenced that,
age. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. Yep.
you better
Oh,
be
she's
careful.
going live at 9. Oh, okay.
She'll throw a rubber ducky at you.
All right. Yeah, she'll be going live soon. So, okay. So anyway, let's get back to this and because we got to
Have any
getting
other
close to
questions
this.
right now? Hold on. Go across your mic.
All right. Taylor, Jennings.
No, no, any questions this time?
And that's another thing is why didn't they cross-examine him? That's just too funny.
All right, it's the excuse.
You may, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ray, you're free to stay. You're free to.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward it here. Is that?
And when I did
Okay.
Request specific to the grand jury subpoenas, and then I'll cover the rest of this morning's argument.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, to facilitate this argument on this point, I am going to hand you defense exhibits A and B that were submitted in our records for today. I want you to be able to look at them while I'm talking.
Okay, thank you.
As of today, there have been at least 50 federal grand jury subpoenas that have been issued in this case. Exhibits A and Exhibits B are an example of copies of grand jury subpoenas that we have received out of those more than 50. And what I didn't provide to you that goes behind that what we got with those is the subpoenas include attachment A, which explains what is being subpoenaed. And then what has been produced is the responses to those subpoenas. And in some of the subpoenas, we also have the certification by the person who has produced the records in response to the subpoena. Some of them are missing. We have asked the state to produce all of the subpoenas, and their response is that they are not in possession and control of those subpoenas, and they do not intend to use the subpoenas as an exhibit. And we have not justified why we need those subpoenas. And for those reasons, they are not going to produce them. I'd like to begin by saying that as it relates to any argument that the state is not in possession and control, rather than beat the dead horse on that issue, Idaho Supreme Court came down in 2023 and made it crystal clear that anybody that's acting on behalf of as an agent of the state puts those records in the hands of the state, and they need to produce them. State versus Pendleton, 2003. The other thing is that in terms of the state arguing that they are not going to use a subpoena as an exhibit, that is not in and of itself a defense to not produce a document to us. We have a million reasons why we need to look at documents. We understand that out of the 51 terabytes that have been produced, that not all of that is evidence that's going to be coming before the court or the jury, but it doesn't mean that they aren't material or exculpatory. The subpoenas, based on reviewing the records, are in the hands of basically three agents. There is an FBI forensic agent by the name of forensic accountant, Michael Douglas. There's a special agent, Travis Shirley, and there is another agent, Mary Tyndall. These are the three agents that are receiving the subpoenas, reaching out to the providers that they're serving and asking for the documents. For the court to understand why we need these documents, I want to tell you what we're doing with discovery and timelines. There are more than 100 search warrants in this case. There are more than 50 grand jury subpoenas in this case. You've heard all kinds of information about the probable cause affidavit and the timing of that. Timing in this case for the defense is everything. So we are creating timelines that put in the dates of affidavits of warrants, the information that's received, and the date that it's produced. With subpoenas, when we don't get a copy of the subpoena and all we get is the warrant or is the subpoena return, we don't know the scope of what the state has asked for. We don't know the date that the subpoena was served. And in some of them, we don't know that there is a certified return. So we can't take our timeline on warrants and our timeline on the probable cause affidavit and our timeline on everything else that we're putting in there and interlay.
Rory is in the house.
Rory.
Yeah, Rory, you want to come up, bro? Come on up. There's a link right there, brother.
I'm glad he's back in action. It's good to have him back.
Yeah, I know. Me too. It's really happy. I'm really happy he's back.
I was about to send a bolo out for him.
Right. Well, I was talking to him all through the whole time. So
Yeah, I knew you were. That was the only reason I felt that he was okay, at least, because I was starting to worry in the beginning.
Okay, he's got 30 minutes. We'll jump up for 30 minutes then.
We'll have to put him on the Pebbelz
there
and
he
Bam
is.
Bam show.
Yeah, and welcome to the Pebbelz and Bam Bam show.
Oh,
Mr. Rory. How you doing,
the
buddy?
rumors will go now, boy.
Hello. How are you doing? Everybody
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Good.
Rory.
Good. We got Pebbelz, and who's the other one? Is that Yoli?
Big Mikey.
Oh, Big Mikey.
Big Mikey, yeah.
What's up, man? How you doing?
It's the Pebbelz and Bam Bam show.
Right on. Good stuff. Hello, everyone. Chief.
Does Rory ever come up?
Yeah, he's up right now. He's there. You just can't
okay.
wait. Here, let me get this. Let me get rid of this. This deal here. There we go. Now we can see him.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Rory, are you able to hear?
What's that?
Are you able to hear us? I don't think
Rory,
Mikey
can you hear?
I can. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't hear him now.
Yeah, I didn't think Mikey could.
There's yeah. Well, what we're doing is just kind of listening to this because we can listen to this like 10 times over and still have things to talk about with this stupid hearing. If you know what I mean.
There are so many little left, you know?
Right.
It's funny because I just literally posted a video right now about the hearing and
I've always
hearing that they have,
Oh, did you?
That,
okay.
Reason why.
All right. What's that, Mikey?
I've always had a theory that Ethan was at the grub truck, but Ethan knew what he was involved in what happened. That's the reason why the Chapins keep their mouth shut. That's what I think.
Well, and Kara said something today about that in her, or kind of leans toward that way in her video today. But Rory, you got a video up. Rory's got a brand new video up, folks.
Yeah,
so
literally just posted it about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Did you? Okay, good. We'll be definitely going to that. Everybody.
You said it was about this hearing.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, it will be. You'll like it. It's very good.
All right. Yes, I like it already.
That little laugh at the end. I know he's got something good for us. I'm excited too.
Yeah, I try. I do what I can for you guys. I do what I can.
Right. Yeah. Here, let me take that down. And there. Now we can see. Oh, what happened to Mikey? Yep,
Yeah,
Mikey dropped. And there's Rory's. His link is right up there on the screen, and Natural Healing just put it up there.
Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check that out. So I'm sure it's pretty good. Yeah.
Hit the like button, please subscribe. Get over there and visit us on Rory's channel and on Golf's channel.
Yep, and Golf. Yep. And Golf just messaged me a little while ago. She was happy because she's got Yoli coming in.
Yoli's coming on Thursday. Yep.
You're right. Yep. So that's working all good
It's like
too.
we're getting back together again.
Yep. Sure are. And there's Mikey. There you are, Mikey. You keep dropping, brother. maybe you need another new rubber ducky.
I think he's muted.
Too hard with it. Yeah, he's muted.
I think you're muted, Mikey. Are you muted? Yeah, he's muted. I'll unmute him.
Tommy.
There he is. Yeah. We can hear you now. Are you having issues, Mikey? He must be having some issues. Okay, well, let's go back to that and yeah, I'm going to redo this. There we go. All right. So let's listen to this part.
Information that the state is giving, and we are desperate. Desperate to find out the timeline in this case and when the state knew what and when. There's no question that motions to suppress are coming. Motions to suppress are coming on warrants. And whether or not those motions to suppress are based on Frank's material because misrepresentations are made depends on the timeline. So if there's a representation made in a warrant, things happen in a certain way. If we are able to look at the timeline and say, we know that the state knew this when, that gives us an answer on whether or not the suppression issue includes a truthful statement in the affidavit. And if I'm not making sense, I want you to tell me to clarify that. But we need to know the timeline of all of the evidence in this case and when the state knew what it knew, or why certain things were being looked at before Mr. Koberger's arrest or well into late in the year in 2023 related to the victims, and try to piece together, is that something that the state is still seeking because they're pursuing the alternate suspects that exist in this case?
That was the one that Rach wanted to talk about.
Right there. Yes. And to me, that doesn't sound like the DNA. It sounds like they were looking at other suspects. Rory, what do you think on that?
Well, I'm coming in a little late to it, so I'm not particularly sure where they are right now. But so what other potential suspects would they be talking about at this point?
Well, apparently that they were looking into the victims, and this was after Brian's arrest in 2023. So I think that's what her argument is. What other alternative suspects were you guys pursuing?
Okay, yeah, that's all right. That's good. Great question. Great question.
I'm going to back it up. I tried backing this up again very little here. Last time I went over a little bit, so I'm going to try doing this here.
Look at the timeline and say, we know that the state knew this when. That gives us an answer on whether or not the suppression issue includes a truthful statement in the affidavit. And if I'm not making sense, I want you to tell me to clarify that. But we need to know the timeline of all of the evidence in this case and when the state knew what it knew, or why certain things were being looked at before Mr. Koberger's arrest or well into late in the year in 2023 related to the victims, and try to piece together, is that something that the state is still seeking because they're pursuing the alternate suspects?
Go look at Maury's deck. It's probably sitting right there.
Right, and related to the victims. That's what gets me. It's related to the victims. Did you hear that?
More exculpatory evidence just laying around somewhere, huh? That's interesting.
Right.
On file, he forgot all about, you know.
That is interesting. I love it.
Right. I think that's a big key, though, when she said related to the victims.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
So she didn't say that's huge. She didn't say related to the DNA, the 3 DNAs. She said related to the victims.
The victims, which would mean more. That would make more sense to me as far as having a reason to do this.
Right. And a.
How about Ethan related to the victims?
Well, he is a victim, so you know. I think that's what she's saying.
Not Ethan. I mean Hunter.
Yeah,
Well,
who they're all looking at.
About that Hunter.
But it sounds like in 2023 that they were looking at, even after they arrested Brian, they were looking at other suspects, and that's going to play a huge thing if they can prove that they're looking at different, you know. And then why are they? This case drives me nuts, because why are they trying to put? Why are they keeping Brian in jail? Know what I mean?
Well, it's because of those 20 DNA cells. That's it, dude. That's the only thing that's keeping him in jail. Is those 20 DNA cells on that button snap. That's it, man.
You hit it on the head. That's exactly my argument as well. That DNA and nobody hears anything.
That's exactly.
But you know as well as I do that's junk DNA.
Of course, it's transferred DNA, and then the FBI will not tell you how they got to Brian Kohberger. They won't do it.
It's all junk unless you can show me your work. I didn't get credit in school, especially math class, science class, if I didn't show my work.
And especially if I didn't save it.
Right.
Which, I mean, anytime you take any kind of classes on anything, I mean, they're pounding that in your head to make sure you. And I've learned it the hard way. I'm writing songs, and not saving my work, and then the stupid computer crashes, and I go back and I've lost everything. I've lost, 40 some hours of work down the drain because I didn't save it. I've learned the hard way, man.
Oh, yeah, it's devastating. Yeah. So could you imagine Mr. Mowry's dicking around in there, blah blah blah, and he's on a hot lead or something like that. He's got 50 hours a week, and my computer crashed. You didn't save it. Whoops, sorry guys. You just lost your whole damn case. You just lost
the fun thing that it seems like it's only when he wants to not save something, or when he needs
to. Selective memory. Exactly.
Selective memory. Good one, Rory.
Thank you. That was the title of my video today, boys.
That's the title?
That's the title of my video today.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait to go watch that.
Yeah, you'll enjoy. But
right. This will be ending here in about a half hour or so.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go watch that. And I recommend everybody out there to go watch Rory's new vid. So, selective memory. Is that what it is?
Selective memory.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. That's perfect.
That's perfect. Right. Yeah. Let's keep going and see what else.
When I'm documenting things that I do, if it's not documented, it doesn't count.
It doesn't exist. Exactly.
It doesn't exist. Right. Oh, Mama D subbed to your channel. Yeah, she's awesome. By the way, go sub her too, because everybody loves Mama D. If you haven't subbed to her yet.
I got to sub to 12 gauge too, so.
Right. Okay, so let's keep listening here.
That exists in this case, there's so many things that we're trying to understand. So what we're asking you to do is enter an order compelling them to produce the subpoenas. You see that they had at least 2 in their possession that they possess, and it will clarify it for us. And we will be able to create our timeline and put all of these things together and know when and why the state was doing these things. And just to add one other component, you're hearing about cell phone records and cell phone records today being produced on warrants. Well, there were several sets of cell phone records that were produced pursuant to a grand jury subpoena. Still not clear to us why warrant versus subpoena, and they're different providers. And some of it's for phone numbers that we have to figure out who those phone numbers are. But all of this information is critical and material for us to be able to do the case, to do our work in this case. So I would ask that you enter an order to compel, and that way the state has the ability to take that to the FBI agents and say, the court has entered an order, we've got to produce the subpoenas, and we'll get the subpoenas. And to the extent that the state may stand up and say, we've got this TUI demands, we've got to deal with TUI. I just want to make it really clear for the court that TUI's not an obstacle. TUI's a hoop to jump through. The code related to 28 CFR 16.21 specifically states that the purpose of TUI is not to prevent federal agents from giving states discovery in a criminal case. Purpose of TUI is because these federal departments want to know when certain records are leaving their files. Understandable, but it's not meant to keep us from getting records that we need in this case.
And I agree with that.
I don't know what does. Like, that's saying a lot right there, but they're hiding behind it.
Right. I like look what Natural said here. She's talking to somebody. Yes, possible. And also, he's a distraction, in my opinion. I believe the FBI is using BK and working behind the scenes, very hidden. You know what? That's definitely a possibility.
I don't understand that. Somebody can help me out with that one.
Okay. Because some people believe that there is some LE involved. And if there's LE involved, they're going to be the FBI. If they're doing a secret investigation, they're not going to tell the LE what's going on. And they're going to keep this very well hidden. There definitely could be a second parallel investigation going on. And we all know what we've seen. My family all knows what we've seen in reflections and stuff like that. And it isn't just kids there. And if there's something dirty and shady going on, the FBI's, that would be federal offenses. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but then she's saying that she thinks they could be using BK behind the scenes to investigate what? He's in jail.
It could be that they're letting LE run its course, but in the meantime, they're
around out still being able to do this.
Yeah, I just think that there could be a second parallel investigation. What do you think on that, Rory? Do you think there could be a second parallel investigation going on?
I think it's highly possible. I mean, it's just really tough to tell, like, what cards are being played by the FBI right now, because at this point in time, they don't look very good, but they might be doing that on purpose because they have another investigation going. I just don't know. I just really don't know.
Sure.
I mean, it's the FBI. You never know. You just don't.
Right. And they would keep it secret.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
I think they would look really bad by keeping and then saying, "Oh no, surprise! By the way, we were actually doing this instead of that." That doesn't really install a lot of confidence in their work, and we're already judging that.
Well, I mean, they're gonna have a real problem when Cy Ray is starting to bust them up, and then they're either gonna have to show up and somebody's gonna have to start talking from the FBI, or they're gonna completely just shy away, and that should probably tell you everything you need to know right there if they don't show up. So
exactly. And I think Cy's got some beef with them, from what I can take and understand from the undercurrents of this.
They probably laughed at him a couple times, said your technology's whack and all this stuff, and now he's here about to break open the biggest case of all time. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Well, if you've ever watched Side's channel, he kind of talks a little bit about that with the Colorado case, and
I do need to watch
he
this
got
channel.
into that. Oh, you'll love it.
I'm sure it's good.
It's good.
Right. All right, let's keep moving. We're coming up on something here. I know this is what's her name anyway? Mosfit or something like that. She's really good. I really liked her presentations. Actually, better than Ann Taylor's.
She's a firecracker.
She is a firecracker. She definitely is a firecracker.
Thank you. Response?
Oh, now we got to listen to
Well,
this.
simply put, we can't give all
Sack
the
of shit.
and we do not have
Skip over,
majority of the
Tommy, skip over her.
Yeah,
She's wasting our damn time. I don't want to hear that crap.
Right. Mikey. Bam, bam. Mikey just did a bam bam.
Well, she is. She's wasting our damn time, and she's just sitting there lying anyway.
Right.
Your Honor, then where I want to start is with Idaho Criminal Rule 16 that governs discovery. 16A directs which things are mandatory disclosures from the state. Those are things I don't even have to ask for. And those are items that the state has possession and control over that would tend to negate guilt or reduce punishment. 16B is the portion of the rule that governs when I request items in the course of my preparation of the case. And I would have the court keep in mind 16A and the prosecutor's responsibilities and Idaho Criminal Rule 16B and the discovery requests that we've made and what we have not received. We've asked for documents, we've asked for reports, we've asked for qualifications and summaries from experts, and we've asked for media that's been gathered in the case. The court can order other things that we asked for based on the need in the case. I would remind the court of the case that Ms. Massa just talked to the court about, State versus Pendleton. I know the court's familiar with this. This is a good case because it's recent and because it takes the time to define what's material and what's within the possession and control of the state. We need to think about our motion to compel in the order.
Yeah, Unravel is right. There. Why is this acting up again here?
Is this me or just John? Or
but,
just,
you know,
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, Tommy.
Go ahead, Roy. What was that?
I was just going to say, just from what I'm seeing right now, the way the judge looks right now, he just looks like, I am so over this. Like, he does not want to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, so somebody in the comments section said, when is this judge going to be a judge? And I'm going to have to agree with that. When is he going to put his foot down and say, prosecution,
exactly.
You have X amount of time to get all of your discovery in, or I'm either going to let this man out or whatever. When is he going to do that?
I'm waiting for him to pull his balls out of his wife's purse. I hate to say it like that. But
yeah, call your wife and tell her to bring your balls over, dude, because this ain't working, bro.
I hate to say it like that, but it's exactly what it is.
And something's up.
Well, that's what I said. He needs a girl set of balls.
A lot of people have asked me, you know, the Department of Justice has to get involved, blah, blah, blah. But Unravel is right here. Attorney General, whatever, supervises and directs the FBI's administration and operation, and the FBI reports its findings to the U.S. attorneys across the country. So, I mean, people know what's going on. And if you think that the, Attorney General isn't keeping a close eye on this case, whoever thinks that, you're wrong. They're keeping a real close eye on this because this could affect how IGG is used in the future, because this is the first time it's been used on a live case. Mm-hmm. It's always been used for cold case.
Yeah.
So this is a huge thing. Now, do we want to go forward like this, and let people use IGG and I don't think that's a good idea. And I think
I don't think so. The
no,
way that
it's certain
used, if they are
not the
actually
way
are
that it's used right now.
and
Yeah,
not showing
and well,
the truth.
C.C. Moore, the inventor of it, even said this should not be used in a court of law.
Yeah, she's actually not
You
the
know,
inventor
and
of
that,
it. She used to be an actress.
what's that?
You
She
know,
used to be. Well, I thought she
she's not
helped.
the inventor of it. She used to be an actress. She's simply the voice and that does the investigation and putting the public records together. The whole science behind it, she has
Okay.
nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing.
Well, she kind of takes credit for it then, because I've heard her
Yes.
say something like that.
Well, Othram. She's in Othram, and that's the big name right now.
Exactly. Right. I know I don't want Othram all over my DNA, or over, you know what I mean, or using like
If they're actually using databases that
like
kind of goes
back.
against your constitutional rights and the amendment, like that's not right. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, so this is why I know that they're keeping a close eye on this, because it's going to affect the country. There's no doubt in my mind.
I think that's also
Right.
got to be why mainstream
You're requesting-
media is pushing what they're pushing.
Right. Yep.
from you in the context of what's in the possession and control of the state. Your Honor, the State versus Pendleton case says that any law enforcement, and this includes the prosecutor's office, it includes their staff, it includes any law enforcement that worked with them on the case. In this case, you're looking at Moscow Police Department, Idaho State Police Department, Idaho State Police Forensics Lab, and FBI agents, to name a few. So what those entities have and have developed are within the possession and control of the prosecutor. So with that backdrop, I want to run through our specific requests and talk about what we need. You've heard testimony, and so I think you know why these things are material, but let's go over it again. Starting with the fourth motion to compel, Ms. Massoff went over 1A, the grand jury subpoenas. I'm going to leave that argument alone. She did a fabulous job with that. When we're looking at 2A, this all comes from the defendant's 11th supplemental request for discovery. 2A is the video on King Street. Your Honor, we began asking for that a long time ago. We have it in full, so we don't have to talk about that. We received that full for all of the hours and days in question with both audio and video on 5/10. So we can mark 2A, item 219 off of our list.
Did you guys catch that?
219.
And I've gone through pages and pages and pages, so I think
Well, she's saying that they got all of that video and audio finally from King Street.
Oh, finally. Oh, that's nice. A year and a half later. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
I
she's
mean,
still
like,
not connection, apparently, right?
I just don't understand what the rush was to go to trial on the prosecution side when you have not handed over all of the discovery. I mean, I get it, but it's not right. That's prosecutorial misconduct.
Yeah, I think they were trying to force his hand and waive those preliminary and didn't think that they would have to produce it.
Right.
Nope,
they didn't think this would ever go to trial. That's what I think. I think they thought they would just cover everything up and move on and get the firing squad lined up and let's move on. You know, I really think they thought that.
Got to go to trial. I just didn't think they would. I don't think they expected all of the details to come out at trial or prior, like we're seeing.
No, I don't think they did either.
I agree with that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the way it looks, for sure.
Yep, it does.
really appreciate you being very specific about, what you have now and what you will still.
Okay. Good, because that's the only way I can keep track of it.
Yeah, well, same here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Your Honor, item 2B in our fourth motion to compel is item 224. That's the CAS biz law. And this one is rough. The court heard last week Detective Mowry say, I don't have any of those, except I found these other items that we'll give you now, which were not Mowry's CAS biz laws. The hard part for us about this one, Judge, and I have to make a record. I think you can order them to double check, and I'm going to ask you to order them to double check. But the hard part of this for me is that on January 9th, we asked for these CAST-VIZ logs. And the response was from the state was CAST-VIZ does not produce logs. And that's just not true. It does. It's capable. It produces logs. You've heard that in the testimony. Then we filed our motion to compel and explained we have an expert, we know it produces logs, we're going to bring them. And the response was the working files were not saved. We received that response on April 23rd, 2024. And then on May 10th, we got a little bit more explanation about default settings were used and optional session files were not uploaded. This is really, really difficult because of the varying answers that we've received. The court's heard testimony from Mr. Ray about how important these logs are to know what was done. This is really challenging. We can't recreate what Detective Mallory, who testified before the grand jury, did, unless the court orders that we get the tower list he used and we have the CAST-VIZ program. And quite frankly, that's what we want. We need
Tommy.
Earth to Tommy.
Yep, I was muted.
Okay. You think about this too. Payne was saying he kind of threw Mallory under the bus because he was saying Mallory was collecting all this information from the get-go, okay?
Oh, sorry, you mean interrupt, but Rory had to drop off. He had to get going. Did you see that?
Oh, did he? Oh, no, I didn't.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I have it there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
but
Mikey.
Okay.
That's okay. But
yeah, Rory, love you, brother.
Mallory didn't come into this case really till March of 23, but yet Payne was throwing him under the bus and saying, well, he's got all this.
No, Mallory was in this at the beginning. He was writing search warrants. He wrote the one for PA. He's been in it.
Oh, has he? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking March, and I don't know why.
You're saying they both kind of were doing that back and forth.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's
Hey,
keep
Tommy.
moving. Huh?
You want to tell me why this math isn't mathing as far as how many people you've got viewing this and you haven't hit the algorithm yet with the 100 likes?
What? Okay, you guys, come on, like up. There was like 160 or 170 in you at one time.
You're not gonna get Mikey all mad and not hit the like button.
Yeah,
we'll really have
you're gonna get Bam Bam upset if you don't hit the like button. So yeah, please hit the like button. I'd like to get into the algorithms. We need to hit that 100. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And let's get back to the vid.
To see how this work was done. This is important work. I'll tell you the other thing that's really troubling and frustrating, aside from the other files that we received in preparation for motion to compel, is these screenshots that we got for the first time last week when we're on a motion to compel and have a witness before the court. We didn't have those screenshots that Detective Mallory had created before. The only thing we had was Exhibit 48 that was given to the grand jury, which is a video that was handed over then. So this is really problematic to be told these varying things and then have something else produced on the day of testimony. Your Honor, we are going to request that the court order that we have the tower list used by Detective Mallory and access to the CAST-VIZ program. So our expert, Mr. Cy Ray, can go through and see what Detective Mallory did. That it's imperative that we be allowed to do that. That's the only way to recreate.
Isn't that just like fucking common sense? I mean, isn't that what courts do? And isn't that what
the
judge?
Common sense is not as common as we think.
Right, and isn't it the judge's job to make sure that that's done?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Apparently, somebody needs to notify him. He needs to review what he's supposed to be doing up there besides daydreaming.
Maybe he should recuse himself. I don't know.
What Detective Mowry did.
It seems to me he did acknowledge that he just went back and provided this a day or 2 days before he testified that he found this additional information. So I'm thinking that the state got that information and had provided that to you. Now, we also heard a lot of the quotes missing pieces today, which I'm guessing that FBI, Mr. Valance and Detective Mowry are going to go back through that and see if there's something else.
See if they can find some more records that they get somewhere.
Assuming that,
Right.
Some things may have fallen through the cracks. I mean, it is very complicated. There was a lot going on.
But it's not that complicated, is it, people? Is it really?
I just hope that everybody goes through their computers or their files or whatever they're going through so that it's complete. So what I've been watching over the last 2 months is that there have been supplemental responses to the defense. So things were coming in. They were waiting for information to come in so that they could provide that to you. So that's why I don't want to go backwards either. I just want to make sure that we are addressing what you don't have and what actually you're entitled to. So that's the tower list. I mean, I don't know anything about tower list. So
yeah, see,
that.
He's been going backwards the whole trial.
Yeah, hey, Antoine, yeah, if you're still out there, yep, we'll see you tomorrow night. And if he's still out there, I don't know if he was taken off or what he was doing, but yeah, Antoine will be on tomorrow night. He's a friend of mine from Facebook group that I was in, that I think it's over 100,000 people in that group. It's a huge group. Him and I used to, fend off all the guilters, which they're pretty terrible in that group. That's why I left that group and started a channel, to tell you the truth. So that group had a lot to do with me coming here. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's Antoine right there. Yeah, and he does post videos in Facebook and that group. So yeah, he'll be on live tomorrow night.
Eager for that one.
What's that, Pebbs?
I said he calls people out on their stuff, so I'm eager to hear that one.
Yeah, he calls people up. Anton doesn't hold back anything. Also, you've heard him, huh, Pebbs?
I'm hella aware. No, I'm new. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he doesn't hold much back. He doesn't hold much back. He will be interesting, I can tell you that. Okay, so let's keep moving on here, because what time is it getting to be? Yeah, we got another 15 minutes here.
I don't know that Detective Mowry addressed that, really. Maybe, unless I missed that.
Your Honor, I believe he testified last week that he used the tower list that was contained in the AT&T record that he received. You heard today that doesn't exist. And you heard today that the tower list was something different that he used. And that tower list once that was entered, there was a selection on the program to do tower density as well. Like that.
Like I said, it's confusing.
It is. It definitely is.
We'll keep going.
Okay, thank you.
You want the tower list?
Yes, I think I'm getting there, but I definitely want that. I want the one that Mallory used to do his CAS Viz work back in May of last year. That's the one I really want right now, at least at this juncture in the documents right now. I do want to clear up though, when we talk about what Detective Mallory found last week when he was preparing to testify, those are emails between him and Nick Balance. Those are JSON files from Nick Balance to Detective Mallory. None of those things that he found, other than screenshots like the exhibit that you have of his hours depicted, other than those screenshots, the other things he had came from Nick Balance. Those were not his logs that he found. Those were not his towels that he found.
Just could have got those from crime sleuthing for all we know.
To the extent they exist, and we can't recreate what he did without the list and program. Moving on.
Thank you.
Moving on then, Your Honor, is item 226. That's called the Hemisphere Program, also known as a timing advance report. Your Honor, this is one of the troubling areas again. The first response was that the records do not exist. There were letters exchanged between the state and us asking for more information. In one of the letters from the prosecutor, we were told that this program was not used in Brian Koberger's case. And then we filed a motion to compel, and we were told that the state was not in possession of the timing records. And then the next supplemental response in May of this year, just a couple of weeks ago, was to tell us that there's some new certified records from AT&T that we're going to get. I don't know what those are. I can tell you that these timing advanced reports were asked for from AT&T, from Verizon, from T-Mobile, and another cell phone company. In both of the early AT&T warrants, we called them the 48-hour, and then the extended warrants back on December 23rd, 2022. We don't have those. So I just want to make a record that I need to know what happened. Moving on then to 228, item 228. That was trying to understand what was relied upon for the second AT&T warrant. And we heard quite a bit today from Detective Payne about what he relied on for that second warrant. And that had to do with what was produced and analyzed in the first warrant. However, we asked for some emails and some communications. We know about some text messaging that we've received, but we don't have written correspondence, email correspondence, exchanging information, just the text messaging. So we want all of the email communication between Payne and Balance. Well, between anybody from Moscow PD and anybody from the FBI. Your Honor, item.
Okay, guys, here's a question for you. All right. So you got this Cy Ray, who's an expert in the field of cell phones and stuff like that. Here's a good question. Do you think he will solve this case? Because he can pinpoint where some of these phones were, like Jack DeCour's, like Jack Showalter's, like any other people. He can pretty much tell them where they were.
Like Brent Payne or
and Brett Payne and all the police officers. Well, we already know that Rosie was there at 3:15 or right around that area, 3:30 or whatever.
He doesn't have access to everybody's cell phone. He doesn't. He's got access, and he can eliminate Brian, though, if that's what it shows.
Right, but can't, couldn't he turn around and work with the LE and say, get me these records and get me these records and let's try to solve this case?
Oh, he could, yeah, if they would allow that. They're not going to.
If they would allow that.
They're not going to allow that.
Allow that? But my whole thing about that is
But
that could very well be true if they would allow it.
it is true. It is true. That's what's going to piss me off if they don't allow that and they don't. What worries me is they're going to get BK off, and this is going to turn into some freaking cold case because they don't do things like that. Because Cy Rake, if they put him on the investigation, he can figure out who it was that was at that house. Or was that Linda Lane? Or was that wherever? He would be able to figure that shit out.
Well, he definitely could help out. If nothing else, I get why you say that, though, because it is frustrating to think that this could go cold or the wrong person be put in jail, whatever the case may be, when the capability to find out who is actually the guilty party is there.
Exactly
And
the point.
Shows it. I mean, this is Brian's trial, so we have to either eliminate him or prove that he's guilty. So by at least eliminating him, move on to progressing to actually getting real justice, if that's the case.
Right. Yeah.
But yes,
I keep thinking. I keep. Go ahead, Mikey.
They don't care about anything but getting Brian, though. That's the problem. They don't care about convicting anybody but Brian. And after, if it comes up and they can't convict Brian, I don't believe they'll do anything.
I don't think they will either.
Well, let's say that. No, I seen a video where Cy Ray says that he doesn't charge anything. He just does all the stuff for free.
Yeah,
what if he offered it?
Pro bono.
Right, he's doing it for free. Oh, and by the way, if you guys haven't seen Lana's interview with Cy Ray and his wife, I thought it was an awesome interview. Some people cut it down. I thought it was a pretty awesome video because they didn't talk about the case, but we got to know Cy Ray and his wife a little more. And it just showed the fun. I want to go to that crime con next year. Is what I want to do where it is. Right? Yeah, the road trip. Yep. Road trip. We got to find out where it is, though.
Mikey, you coming with us?
Sure.
He's like, sure.
Sure. Why not?
Well, the thing is, that thing wasn't but a couple hours from me, Nashville this year.
Yeah,
I didn't know
right?
it.
Oh wow, this is a couple hours from me, man. I would have went.
Yeah,
it was only a couple hours away.
Next year they say it's what, Colorado? Yep, I think that's what Kathleen just said. Colorado, right?
Colorado. Oh, my daughter lives in Denver.
That's where I was born. I got a good excuse. Gotta go see it again.
Right? No, well, we can. We're only a couple hours away, so we can ride together and go. We can go stay at my daughter's. She'll let us stay there, so we won't have to go to a hotel or anything.
Your daughter lives in Colorado?
Yeah, she lives in Denver. Yeah, she runs a business over there. She owns her own business. That's a online business. So, but she does really well over there. She likes it there. Yeah. So yeah, if it's in Denver or close in Colorado, that's where I'll be going to my daughter's. All right, that sounds pretty good. Right, yeah. I'll just fly over your way and I'll jump in with you. But here's what I'm thinking is, Cy Ray doesn't make any money, right? What if he offers? What if he goes, I want to find out who did this? Since I've proven Brian is not guilty, let's find out who did this. I mean, he's the type of person that'll do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a good point, Tommy. Yeah, just take the bone and run with it. That could be
right. Yeah, he could do that. He very well could do that.
That would be amazing.
It would. It would. And he's worked with other prosecutions, and I'm sure he knows the FBI, and I'm sure he knows all the people that could get this done.
He knows the players. I can tell you that much. I've watched every single one of his podcasts, and he alludes to that well aware.
Yep. So yeah, I'm hoping that happens. I think we're gonna call this the end though. We got Mama D's gonna be going live, and we have Rory's brand new video out there too. Selective Memory. I know I like that. I already know it's gonna be good.
That's a great title. So I know it's gonna be good.
Right, me too. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you what. 2 hours goes by really fast when you're on here, doesn't it?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
It just flies by. Yeah, I've been in ones at 5 hours, and it's still the same. It's just like, what? 5 hours? Are you kidding me?
I don't know if I could do 5 hours sometimes. Wow.
Right.
I'd be mad, probably raging at the computer.
No, I've done that with Rory and golf and Sarge back in the day a few times, and Dago, and
Yeah, we did do some longer ones.
No, yeah, some really long ones. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, we talked about some things and put out some ideas, I think, and some opinions.
There's been some great chat since I've been able to see it.
Yeah. It took you a while to see it? Took you a while to see it, Pebbs, or what? The chat?
Yeah, I couldn't
figure it out.
And don't know why. I thought, hey, just put it up on the TV. I still can't reply, but I can at least see it.
Right. All right. Well, I want to thank Pebbelz and Big Mikee for being on panel tonight on Mad Monday. Mad Mon. That's hard to say. Mad Monday. Monday. Mad Monday. That mod. I want to say Mon. Mad Mon. Mad. Mad Monday.
Sounds like a WWF SmackDown or something.
Right, and this will be happening next Monday. I'm pretty sure. Not sure what mods will be coming up or anything like that, but I think it's kind of a good thing to do. I'm going to try to get back into the Java times. I did release one this morning.
I was going to tell you.
It was a nightmare. I know it was a nightmare.
I actually didn't think it was too terrible. Like, why was it a nightmare?
Because when I got to the shorts part of it, I actually started early, like at 4 a.m. or 3:30 or something. And by the time I got done, it was like 7. all because I did the whole video, right? And then I look and my mic is muted during the whole short section. And I'm going, oh my God, I don't believe I just did that. And so I had to go in and recut that and then bring it into CapCut. And oh my God, it's just
at least you caught it, Tommy. Knowing my luck, I would not have caught it. We would have been out there thinking.
Oh, I didn't catch it until it was already done. That's the problem. So I had to do some splicing and all that kind of crap. So yeah. Oh yes, prayers for Pete too. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, prayers for Pete from Murder Metal Mayhem. He just had surgery. Yeah, and definitely prayers for Pete. He is part of a community, and some prayers out for Pete. He does a good job over there at Murder Metal Mayhem. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much, Pebbelz and Mikee, and we'll see you next time around. All right.
All right.
Love you guys.
All right, brother.
Okay, so episode of Mad Monday, and yeah, so we're hoping to keep going, and we might even be coming up with a Pebbelz and Bam Bam show. So we're working on that. Make sure you go check out Rory's new video. And also, 1111 True Crime is going live. So, and she's part of our family. There's no doubt about that. So make sure you do that. And you know that, you know, my subs are my heart, my mods are my soul. And until next time, rock and roll.
Thank you so much. How you guys doing tonight?